The Enhanced American Express Business Gold Card is designed to take your business further. It's packed with features and benefits like flexible spending capacity that adapts to your business, 24/7 support from a business card specialist trained to help with your business needs, and so much more. The Amex Business Gold Card, now smarter and more flexible. That's the powerful backing of American Express. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/businessgoldcard.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
You're now listening to
the Double Dose Podcast.
I'm Shonda.
I'm Chanel.
And we are one set of twins
with two different perspectives.
Listen, I'm so excited to be here.
I'm truly excited, y'all.
Yes.
It's Friday.
Yeah, Friday. Hey. It's Friday night.
And I feel alright.
He was so churchy in that. It was very much 90s.
Everybody did that. Yeah.
It's gonna be May. Yeah. No, that was 90s R&B for you. Y'all know we love the 90s R&B era.
May is churchy though. Because I'm thinking about a song. And they said the revival is gonna start in May. Mm-hmm. And they're saying me.
Who is it? A choir? Or
I forgot.
So listen, I'm excited to be here. Let's talk about some of the things we've been doing. Just a little catch up.
Yeah, you start.
So I just got back from New Orleans, and it was super lit. Hey. So, for those of you who don't know, I recently collaborated with Capital One, and Capital One has an initiative where they support HBCUs. And so if you guys went to a HBCU, I'm sure you heard of the HBCU Kings and Queens Conference, because I remember hearing about it while I was in school. Mm-hmm. Did you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And all the kings and queens knew each other, and that's where they met.
That's where they met, at the HBCU Kings and Queens Conference. Funny story. When I was talking to my folks at Capital One, they were telling me, like, yeah, there's this conference in New Orleans that we want you to be a part of. Granted, I didn't know, like, what conference it was. Mm-hmm. I didn't know, like, this was the conference that I've always been hearing about since I was in college. Mm-hmm. But when I showed up, I was like, oh, this is that. This is that. So, Chanel, 54 HBCUs were in the building.
That is what's up.
I spoke to hundreds of students in their royal court, like Mr. Sophomore, Miss DSU, Mr. DSU. I met both of them, by the way. Aww. Yeah, so we know her older sister.
Who's her older sister?
So I met her. She's also an AKA at Delaware State University. I met Mr. DSU. Awesome. And it was really dope. It was a really dope experience. Good. And it was super cute because it was like the royal court, like basically nobody walked alone, like during the, like anything. Like if Miss DSU had to go to the bathroom, for example, mm-hmm. Mr. DSU would escort her on his arm.
Oh,
like
so
they would be walking in the hallway, like everybody matched.
HBCU culture. I love HBCU culture. It's nothing like it.
Oh my gosh, it's so different.
Yo, but you know, the royal court and Mr. and Miss Delaware State XYZ, PWIs don't do that.
I had no clue that they didn't.
I didn't realize it either until I remember being at work one day and I was on my LinkedIn and I was like, oh, that's my homegirl. She was Miss DSU. And he said, you mean your homecoming queen? I said, no, that's Miss DSU. Like, that's my homegirl, Miss DSU. So they don't like have Mr. University of Delaware and Miss University of Delaware. That's totally a HBCU thing.
I found that out in my big age. Like I did not, like when I was explaining this concept to my colleagues, they were like, oh, well, like what is a Miss so-and-so or Mr. Howard University, Miss Clark Atlanta, like what is that? Yeah. And so I had to explain to them, like, that's where you're basically like voted into being the face of the school. Right. And it's such an intense process, Chanel. There should be a whole reality show on that.
Oh, absolutely. It's like a whole pageant. No, well, it is a whole pageant.
It is a pageant.
Yeah. Remember that time I was almost Miss Senior?
Yeah. What happened?
I don't know.
What?
I think I showed up late to the meeting. Oh, but I know for a fact I was a shoo-in. Like, people already told me, yo, I'm a vote for you, like you're in or whatever. But it just didn't happen that way. God said not so.
But listen, Chanel, but the HBCU, like Kings and Queens and stuff, were so popping. Like, that was one of the most intense times on the HBCU campus. Like, the way they had the campaign. I remember our homegirl Autumn Dover.
Yeah.
She bought like 100 dollar cheeseburgers from McDonald's, and I was just thinking about this the other day, and she put "Vote for Autumn" on the as a sticker on the cheeseburgers and gave them out to students. Like, what student isn't going to take a cheeseburger from McDonald's? Like, you're going to get my vote just because you gave me McDonald's.
Exactly. And remember, we was campaigning for Davina.
Yes, of course.
Yes. Shout out to, she was our Miss DSU.
Right. Davina was our Miss DSU. We love Davina as our Miss DSU.
As our Miss DSU. Now our big sister.
Right. And she was just somebody dope to like look up to on campus.
Yeah. Cause she was like, I don't know, like she was just that girl.
Right.
She was just that girl.
She was that girl. Cause she was like a real pretty, chill, laid back girl, but also like everybody loved her.
Everybody loved her. Everybody knew her from Camden.
Right. So
and humble.
Yeah. And so like HBCU homecoming season where you're voting in and like installing the Mr. and Miss, like it's intense.
It is so intense. You got to have a catchy campaign.
You have to.
I forgot who posed in a Superwoman outfit.
Krista. Yeah, Krista.
Shout out to Krista.
Krista and Davina, they had a great campaign. They were neck and neck.
That was so memorable. That was, listen, that made my HBCU experience. That was one of the moments.
Exactly. Shout out to Krista, who has Black Therapists of Delaware directory. So make sure y'all hit her up if y'all looking for a therapist and y'all live in Delaware. But yeah, HBCU king and queen culture is just different. And I love my HBCU.
I love my HBCU. Shout out to
Delaware State University. But it was amazing. All right, so what you been up to?
So if you all listened to the last episode, I was in Los Angeles. Yes, your girl was Hollywood chilling. I was at the ESPYs. Flew out there to create content for my podcast, the Success Playbook Podcast, where we use sports as a tool to talk about all things success in spite of failure, adversity, etc., etc. Also use it as an opportunity to elevate Black voices in sports. So that was awesome. It was a vibe. I got to meet a lot of people that I really wanted to meet. I got to interview some folks. It was really fun. The dress was amazing. Shout out to my best friend who styled me. And then also he stood out there with me in that hot sun.
Tell us about that, because it was hot in DC, so I know it was hot in LA.
It was so hot in LA. There was nothing covering us, no tent or anything. Javon he kept getting me bottles of water. I would drink it and the water is cold. I would set it down and go back to drink it, and it would be hot. The water would be hot. That's how hot it was. But he rocked out with me. He was looking great himself, but he sweated out his suit. But he recorded my content for me as I was interviewing folks. He was also there just to like encourage me and say like, yo, you did good. Like that was good. Yeah, it was really, I needed that. I really did need that, because that was my first time on the red carpet. And I did that because, I really wanted my listeners to get something that they probably wouldn't get from another podcast, right? You don't know any other sports podcast that was on the red carpet at the ESPYs. Why? Because I was the only one. Like I walked up to people. I mean, I saw Baller Alert. I saw Mel Mill. I saw the news outlets and all these other folks, but I didn't really see any other podcast outlets. So if you head over to the Success Playbook Podcast, you'll hear something exclusive that you didn't hear before on another podcast.
That's amazing. And shout out to also Javon for being out there. Like, it's so important to have supportive friends. Bro. Like, the way our friends show up for us is just different. It is. It's just different.
Like the way we all show up for each other.
Yes. It's amazing. Speaking of some of our LA friends, I know you saw our homegirl Lauren co-hosting the Breakfast Club this week. What did you think?
Listen, Lauren tore it up. First of all, she looked amazing.
She
looked amazing with her braids. The last time I saw her, I said, Lauren, I love your braids. And she had this popping red lip, and she just did great. And we expected that of Lauren, because that's just what she does.
Lauren was at home, basically. Like when she was on there, like just her conversing with DJ Envy and Charlamagne, I'm like, yo, you look like you're at home right now.
And she wasn't. A lot of people go to the Breakfast Club intimidated. Yeah. And you can feel it on them. Like you can smell it, right? You can smell the intimidation, because Charlamagne, he's known for being crazy. Controversial. Envy, like they ask the hard questions, but Lauren was just at home. Yeah. She didn't. Yeah, she fit in perfectly there.
Yeah, I called her about a couple hours ago, and I just was like, yo, you killed it. You smashed. I did, yeah. Oh, she was asleep because she had to wake up early. Okay. But yeah, like I told her, like,
is she doing it tomorrow too?
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Yep. I'm so excited.
I know. I'm excited too. Not damn. Wait till the show is over.
Listen.
All right. So today we're going to we're going to turn our double take segment into a whole show.
Yes, we're really excited.
And if you guys are familiar with double take, we're basically taking moments in pop culture and we're just putting our double take on it, as we are one set of twins with two different perspectives. So, yeah, let's get started. So what's first on the docket, Chanel?
First things first. So Carlee Rusell. We didn't speak about this case this whole time.
Oh my gosh.
But there's actually a recent discovery.
Okay.
Like, there's a new clip that has just been released that neither of us has listened to just yet.
Okay.
So you want to listen to it real quick?
Please.
All right.
The Enhanced American Express Business Gold Card is designed to take your business further. It's packed with benefits like 4 times points that adapt to your top 2 eligible spending categories every month on up to $150,000 in purchases per year. And up to $395 in annual statement credits on eligible purchases at select business merchants. The Amex Business Gold Card, now smarter and more flexible. That's the powerful backing of American Express. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business gold card.
That I have talked to and received a statement from Mr. Emery Anthony, attorney for Carlee Rusell. Mr. Anthony has scheduled a meeting for Carlee to meet with investigators early this afternoon, but then I received an email stating that a statement was being provided by him on her behalf. Mr. Anthony asked that I read the statement in its entirety, which I will do now. My client has given me permission to make the following statement on her behalf. There was no kidnapping on Thursday, July 13th, 2023. My client did not see a baby on the side of the road. My client did not leave the Hoover area when she was identified as a missing person or any hotel with anyone from the time she was missing. My client apologizes for her actions to this community, the volunteers who were searching for her, to the Hoover Police Department and other agencies as well, as to her friends and family. We ask for your prayers for Carlee as she addresses her issues and attempts to move forward, understanding that she made a mistake in this matter. Carlee, again, ask for your forgiveness and prayers. We have a meeting scheduled with Mr. Anthony to further discuss this case. Today I've talked to and received a statement from Mr. Emery Anthony.
Ooh, a lot to unpack there.
I mean,
for sure. We knew that there was, a lot of people, the math wasn't mathing for a lot of people. And so they had their speculations. Me personally, I didn't really want to speak out as to whether she was telling the truth or not, because I wanted all the facts. And now that we have all the facts, Chanel, I'm wondering, what is your perspective?
Yeah, so I mean, when it comes to this stuff, whenever it comes to reposting and stuff, I really don't do that until, like you said, I have all the facts, because I want to make sure that I'm making a sound decision. I want to make sure that I'm not reacting off of emotion. Yeah, and I just don't want, I don't want that any sort of falsehood being associated with me or my brand, right? So yeah, I waited for the Holy Ghost.
Not waiting for the Holy Ghost, Chanel.
I did.
Okay, so here's my take on Carlee Rusell. This incident, the fact that she lied, does not change anything about my stance.
What is your stance?
At the end of the day, we still need to believe black women. I hated how many people were talking about, before we even had all the facts, oh, why isn't she saying anything? Why isn't this happening? Why isn't that happening? Let's be real. Black women are taken, abducted, kidnapped. Hundreds of black women go missing throughout the year, and people don't care, and people don't search for them or find them or what have you. The fact is, yes, she did utilize resources. She caused the government to use resources in order to search for her or whatever. But people are saying oh, she's the reason why we're not going to be believed again in the future. Carlee doesn't have that much power. Carlee doesn't have that much power.
Right.
At the end of the day, there's nothing that she could have done, said, or anything that she already did do or say will make police believe us any less than they already do.
I will say though that this case, it doesn't help the black woman when we go missing. I feel like it lessens the credibility of the black woman when we go missing. And there are already so many cases that don't get the necessary attention, that don't get the attention that Carlee Rusell got on TikTok, on Instagram, on social media, right? And we just spent several days elevating this Carlee Rusell story when there are still women in 2010, 2014, etc., that have still not been found yet. And I think that this case does lessen the credibility. I think it does. I think that it's going to be harder for folks to believe now that, when black women go missing, it's going to be harder.
Okay. We're one set of twins.
Two different perspectives.
All right, here's my different perspective, Chanel.
You already said it, but go ahead.
So here's the thing. Granted, yes, whatever she had going on that made her lie like that, we're praying for her mind, whatever it is that's going on. But at the end of the day, there's nothing that she could have done to damage our credibility in a world where our credibility is already in question.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying there. You're saying you can't break something that's already broken.
Exactly.
Okay. I agree with you there.
Yeah. But okay, so what about the statement of like she lessens our credibility? That's not a Carlee Rusell thing.
How isn't it?
That's not a Carlee Rusell thing. Carlee Rusell cannot make.
Here's the thing. Here's my thing.
But look,
I agree. Carlee Rusell, okay, granted, she's not the end all be all,
right.
But as black people, yes, sometimes what we do when we are on big stages, we are the representation for all black people. It shouldn't be that way, but that's how it is. Even going into the boardroom and you have all these white executives and then maybe you have a black person, that black person becomes the voice of the black people.
But as you stated, it shouldn't be that way, though.
It shouldn't be, but I'm telling you what it is. Sometimes when you are at the forefront of something, you do become that majority. Yes, you become, it is, what's the word I'm looking for? You generalize, right? People are going to generalize populations based off of what you're doing.
Okay. I hear you, Chanel. I definitely hear you, but I definitely disagree. Like we said, like I think there's absolutely nothing, I'm going to repeat myself, there's absolutely nothing that Carlee Rusell could have done or has already done that will impact our credibility as a people. She does not have that power. Police haven't been believing us for centuries, and that's not going to change with this one story.
And we're praying for the families, and we're praying for her.
I agree. You can't break a system that's already been broken.
Exactly.
All right.
But hold on. But why do you think she did it? You think it was over a guy?
I have no clue, and I don't want to speculate. That's what some people are saying. I don't know if she needed a break from work. I never went through extreme measures like that to get a break, but that's what the people are saying. I don't know. Child, but what's next on the docket? Do you want to go to something more lighthearted?
Yes, absolutely. After that,
go ahead.
Let's talk about these TikTok snacks.
You talk about them because you know more about them than I do. I have no clue.
They keep popping up on my timeline. It's so annoying.
Did you try them?
I did yesterday, but it was just like, y'all, it's the most overrated snack on TikTok. And it's this one girl, it's all she eat. And I'm just like, how do you still have blood pressure? Like, what's going on?
What is it?
So it's chopped up pickles. It's a chopped up dill pickle. You slice it up and you take hot Cheetos. You take the bag of hot Cheetos and you crunch it up. Crunch, 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 crunch. And then you throw the pickles in the hot Cheetos. And then you shake the bag up and you pull the little pickle pieces out. And it's full of...
Go ahead.
It's full of Cheetos.
That sounds like the dumbest snack, y'all. She bust out laughing because I'm over here making faces, but that sounds like the dumbest snack ever. Like full of salt, high blood pressure.
It's giving Big Mama your arm. Like, I don't understand how we can eat this way as a people.
Not Big Mama your arm. No, seriously, we got to do better. Y'all.
Oh, have you seen that awkward behind silence? It's all good. Have you seen those spicy bowls on Instagram?
No.
It's like this chip dip.
Not chip dip. Go ahead.
It's this chip dip, but it's made with like pickle juice and some pickles, and it's made with like yellow peppers and yellow pepper juice, and you throw in there a egg, or it can be like a pickled egg, and hot sausage, or it can be a kielbasa sausage, and
Why
you
do
dip
know
the
all of
chip.
this?
I don't
Like,
know why
you
it
know the
keeps
substitutes
appearing.
and everything.
It keeps appearing.
But it could be a sausage or a hot sausage. You could use pickles. It could be kosher. It could be sliced.
Maybe because I do sit there and look at it, because I'm so amazed at, like, yo, how can y'all just sit there and eat pure salt? Do y'all not care about, like, living?
Your body?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's mind-boggling.
I don't know.
Won't be me. I'm back on keto. Chanel,
Yes.
after this weekend, I was in New Orleans and I ate 5 beignets
That's
in 1.5 days. Like, why?
yeah, because you brought me back a bag of beignets and it had one beignet in it.
Yeah, because I ate them. They're so good.
Yeah, but okay, yeah. I thought I was gonna have a beignet, but anyway.
My bad. All right. So outside of these TikTok snacks, TikTok snacks, you want to talk about Chelle and Queen Opp?
Yes. Okay. So on TikTok, well, they've been famous for a few years.
Famous is a strong word.
Famous is a strong word, but everybody's famous now. So
They've been in the social media streets for quite some time. They're from Philly.
famous. Here's the thing about social media. It makes the people who are most unworthy of being famous famous. So yes, it is what it is.
I wouldn't say famous though. That feels weird saying that. But anyway.
All right.
All right. So
Hater.
Chelle and
Chelle and Queen Opp, they are well known on social media, and live on camera, Queen Opp and her girlfriend got arrested for basically abusing Chelle. So,
look, I know we've been seeing the abuse of Chelle for a long time.
for some years,
And it got to the point where the police were like, yo, people are calling us from all
all over the country. Yes, that was like crazy.
Yeah. But you can obviously see that there is, like, I can't diagnose from afar, but like there is definitely something that Chelle is experiencing, whether it's whether she's on the spectrum or something. Like she has something going on with her from a cognitive level.
Yeah.
So you can tell, like, she looks to Queen Opp as her support, but Queen Opp really is manipulative and abusive to her.
Yeah.
So it's always sad, like, seeing stories like this. And I think people, because like Chelle or Queen Opp she's funny. Like, I'm not going to take that away from her. She's very funny on Instagram. Outside of, like, you know, the dirty apartment and everything else that she posts, she's a very beautiful girl. Like, she's very, she's nice looking. So people look past the abuse, and I guess they, like, that's what makes her famous, because she, like, you know, she's attractive, but also she has this terrible core where she would abuse someone with these cognitive disabilities.
Yeah. Like, she made her get a big tattoo across her chest. Like,
That's manipulation.
very much so. It's very sad. It was sad to watch.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm kind of torn about this situation with Chelle and Queen Opp. But
I hope they get charged.
in other news, Chanel, so we're still in that double take segment. Governor Ron DeSatan basically is like, yeah, so he's approving children in Florida being taught that black people benefited from slavery. Like, benefited from slavery. Like, they learned skills and, you know, became efficient workers, like things like that type of notion.
What?
Yes, child. So that's where we are today.
Smite him.
I think Jesus just needs to come back, like, today, because I'm tired of dealing with humans. Like, this is ridiculous. But then the cherry on top, Van Lathan posted a video, and this is a sermon given by Kim Daniels.
Child, I thought you was about to say
No. I already know what you were thinking. No, not her. But no. So this is a sermon by Kim Daniels. And so here's the thing. Every time I advocate for us and Christians and black Christians, and, you know, Christianity isn't a slave man's religion, and, you know, we can be free in Jesus and still love our blackness. Anytime I talk about that, or I try to, like, not impose my beliefs on other people, but, you know, talk about Christianity in a positive light, right? Share the gospel. Somebody always got to say something that make us look crazy.
us back. Yeah.
Here we go. Y'all ready for this?
I thank God for slavery.
What?
I thank God for the crack house. If it wasn't for the crack house, come on somebody, God wouldn't have never been able to use me how he can use me now. And if it wasn't for slavery, I might be somewhere in Africa worshiping a tree.
No, she didn't.
I thank God.
My God. My God. Lord, come get your people.
Come get her.
Come get your people. I'm just ready for the rapture at this point.
Yes, Lord, catch us away.
I'm ready to be caught up with Jesus.
Come on, caught up to meet him in the air.
All right, so that was your first time watching that video, Chanel. What are your thoughts?
Listen, the foolishness, the absolute and utter foolishness. If you don't know what is the words? Exegete a text, then just stick with the basics.
Just testify.
Just testify and talk about the goodness of the Lord. Stick to the ABCs of the gospel. Stick with the salvation. Like, stick with the basics. You don't have to go off on a tangent and make yourself look crazy.
Child, and that's the thing. People be, and I can't even say she was looking for a viral moment because that video looked like it was in the 90s or the early thousands where there was no social media.
And ain't no good church like the 90s.
No good church like the 90s, let me tell you.
Listen, on a side note, I was watching The Apostle with Dad last night. You can just see the 90s church all up and through that movie. It was so good.
The foot stomping,
yes.
Washboard.
Yes.
Like,
and people just listen.
Yeah. But it's like videos like that be setting us back, Chanel.
Facts.
Like it really makes me just want to throw all of y'all away.
But listen, if you didn't study last night, just say that.
For all y'all young preachers out there, and you're wondering like, should I say this or should I not? Just go with don't. Study until you show yourself approved, beloved. Right. Keep exegeting the text or whatever it's called. Listen. Keep studying. Keep trying to go through interpretation. Exegete.
But I just thank God that I have a leader, aka my dad, who just don't be throwing anybody up there. Like, we his own kids, right? And we was getting prophecies that we were supposed to be preaching. He was like, oh, okay, great. Well, read this book and study the gifts first. And let me examine your prayer life. And it was a process before we touched the microphone.
Absolutely. And to this day, people will come up to him, Bishop, I want to preach. What's your prayer life like?
Exactly.
You ain't been to Bible study. Like, what's going on?
When the last time you've been on a prayer line?
Right. When the last time you've been on the prayer line? I think that's one of the problems why people think it's cool to say stuff like this, because they don't have leaders that hold them accountable.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
They don't have leaders that hold them accountable.
Who her pastor
Bruh.
was?
But that's where we are today. And granted, somebody just dug that up because it was relevant to the benefits of slavery. I've heard, white evangelicals preach that about how like slavery was beneficial, but I haven't heard like a black person say that. Yeah. And it was disappointing. So Pastor, Sister Kim Daniels, just testify next time.
Just talk about the goodness of Jesus.
Jesus, he woke me up this morning, started me on my way. That's all you gotta do. That's all. That's all.
Now let's talk about, I am really starting to get annoyed by motivational speakers.
Yeah.
Even though I am one, so are you. But I am like really getting annoyed with them.
Okay. Why are you getting annoyed? Was it something that you heard somebody say or social media?
Yeah, so you listen to these podcasts, right? Mm-hmm. And they give you, can you pull up the video? And they give you all this like crazy advice. It's not even crazy advice. It's just so like cliche or just like, so it just doesn't make sense. And you can tell people are just talking just to talk and they want a viral moment, but what they're saying does not make sense, right? It's like, I don't know. I really want you to play this video.
Let me help you figure out what $1 million morning looks like. Number one, when the alarm rings, get your ass out of bed. Rule number 2, you're going to make your bed. Rule number 3, high five habit, baby. You got to get in that bathroom after you brush your teeth and high five yourself in the mirror. Yourself. Rule number 4, move your body and move your mind. You are to get your ass out of bed without looking at your phone. You are supposed to make your bed without looking at your phone. And you are supposed to walk into the bathroom and wash your face and brush your teeth and do all that stuff and then do the high five habit and not look at your phone. Rule number 5, And this is what will make you $1 million. This is what will help you pay off $1 million in debt. It's called the progress principle. The secret to getting big things done is making little progress every day. And that, my friend, is the $1 Million Morning. Let me help.
So why I'm not a millionaire yet?
Right, ma'am. I just feel like she just threw a bunch of random things together and said, I'm going to kill him with this one. I'm gonna make a podcast today. Like, none of that really made sense. Okay, granted, the basics. I believe, yes, you should make your bed. I believe, yes, you should wake up and get active.
Routine.
But
Routine.
what did she say that was earth shattering?
But Chanel, that is the nature of like social media today. Especially like when you think of the era of the influencer, you have people all the time who are, you need to get out of bed. I wake up every day and I look in the mirror and I smile and I say, you know what? Jesus loves me, so I'm going to love you. And then I know I'm going to have a great day. And then I pick up a phone and I land $1 million contract. Like it's just a bunch of fluff. It is. And that's where we are. But you can't blame them because that's what people gravitate toward. Everybody who liked that post that you sent me.
How many likes did it get?
I don't know. I wasn't counting, but there are people who like that type of I can't even call it encouragement, but fluff, honestly.
It's straight up fluff. And guess what? I'm gonna start doing it.
No, you're not. All right. If you were to have that type of social media content, what would you say?
Well, first things first. As soon as you wake up, listen, you have to, and this is real, you have to thank God for a brand new day. So every time that I wake up, I say, good morning, Jesus. How did you sleep? Because I am truly passionate about my Lord, and I'm truly inquiring on the quality of my Lord's sleep. Yes, I had a good night, but Lord, did you have a good night? Because I care. And then I wake up, right? So I get up and I start with putting my right foot down off the bed and then my left foot. Why? Because I am always right. Okay. So I start with putting my right foot down and then my left foot. And then I get up and I walk into the bathroom. As I am walking, I am doing 5 jumping jacks en route. Why? Because I am starting my day, right? Most millionaires exercise on their way to the bathroom. Y'all exercising at the gym, you already missed it, right? That the day is halfway gone. I am exercising on my way to the bathroom, going, brush my teeth, say a prayer, and then I'm going to actually go upstairs and do my real workout, right? And every day is leg day. Why? Because I have to carry the weight of the world on my shoulders. So every day is leg day.
Shut up, bro. No, would y'all buy Chanel's book or go to her TED Talk if she opened up with that? First of all, not asking the Lord how he slept, because we all know the Lord don't sleep or slumber.
Because he's omnipresent, okay?
Rewind that, pause it. What? Do you know what omnipresent means?
Everywhere.
I think I'm going to eat some pickles and Cheetos and probably watch Real Housewives of Atlanta.
We have been watching the reruns of Real Housewives of Atlanta, and we've been getting our lives. Season 7 and 8 was the best seasons.
The best.
Season 7 didn't even have Nene, and it was still one of the best seasons.
Amazing season. No. Season 8 didn't have Nene.
Season 8 didn't.
That was with Kim. Yo, when I tell you the way Claudia Jordan had the girlies in a headlock, the way Demetria came through singing and dancing with Roger Bob, the way season 8 Kim Fields and her blondness came through,
Kim Fields, the legendary Kim Fields.
I can't watch this current season. Like I don't know. But I've been living my life with the vintage Real Housewives baddies. All right, so we have some amazing guests who are lined up for the show. Yeah. You want to talk about them or surprise the people? Okay, let's surprise the people.
Yeah.
All right. So
it was a great episode.
I think so too. So make sure you guys are rating the podcast and subscribe. If you are listening to the Apple podcast, make sure that you're hitting that follow button. If you're listening to Spotify, hit follow and leave us a 5-star review.
Yes, star review. And also just write a little something in the review too.
A little something.
A couple sentences.
That's it. But yeah, so we are one set of twins.
2 different perspectives.
Join us next week on the
Double Dose Podcast.
Brought to you by
the Revolt Podcast Network.
All right, y'all.
See y'all. Deuces.
The Enhanced American Express Business Gold Card is designed to take your business further. It's packed with benefits like 4 times points that adapt to your top 2 eligible spending categories every month on up to $150,000 in purchases per year. and up to $395 in annual statement credits on eligible purchases at select business merchants. The Amex Business Gold Card. Now smarter and more flexible. That's the powerful backing of American Express. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/businessgoldcard.